Voter ID set to be the law of the land in Wisconsin.
The Supreme Court refused to hear a challenge against the measure, meaning it is now fair game inside the state. But the State Department of Justice will wait until after the April election to implement it. The DOJ says because thousands of absentee ballots have already been sent out across Wisconsin, the law will take effect in future elections, meaning you won't need to bring an ID with you to the polls April 7th.
Realistically, there will not be an opportunity to implement the process, and it just wouldn't work and would add a lot of chaos and confusion.
The state's Government Accountability Board will update its website to reflect the new ID law April 8th once the election is over. And Leah Linshai joins us now in the studio.
And she has more on what kind of changes in the election process that clerks in Madison are expecting, Leah.
Eric and Michelle, the next election that you'll need to use an ID to vote here in Madison likely won't come until February of 2016 for school board primary elections. What that means right now is a lot less work for the city and the UW campus. There's no shortage of work inside the city clerk's office this week.
We're preparing to test the election equipment, and we're beginning our election official training.
Just weeks away from a mayoral face-off, workers have their hands full.
It's really too close to an election to change any of the rules.
So you could almost hear their collective sigh of relief following the Government Accountability Board's announcement.
Voter ID will not be required for that election.
We'd have a lot of voters to track down to try to get copies of ID.
3,000 absentee ballots already sent out across the city would have otherwise meant much more work for the city clerk.
It's not the busiest time of the year.
But it's a bit of a different story for workers at WisCard. Their office on campus can issue voter ID cards to students without a Wisconsin driver's license.
We've probably issued in total just a few hundred.
But haven't had to print one since October, a lull in business they attribute to confusion and the court process.
The biggest issue, again, has been with all the block, stoppages because of the courts.
And while Monday's announcement means a change in protocol for future elections, neither office anticipates a flood of voter questions anytime soon.
We really haven't been very busy, and I'm sure until the next presidential election, that's when it really draws in the population.
So you don't need to rush to get an ID for this election, but you do want to start thinking about it for the future elections.
For students on the UW campus, those voter ID cards are free of charge. You'll need that card and a letter from the university that proves you're enrolled there. For the rest of us who might not have a Wisconsin's driver's license, you can receive a free voter card at any DMV office. Details on what you need to get that are on channel3000.com. But again, that is not needed for the April election.
Okay, hope everyone was listening. All right, thanks, Leah.
You're welcome.